Okay. So, so in projection of solids, what you have to do is you have to take it into account these different types of solids. Basically, the solids would be uh, prisms and pyramids. Okay, so that is what is given here: prisms, pyramids, and the regular polyhedrons. So there are a couple of them. Uh, Unit would be prisms and pyramids. So basically, a solid is a three-dimensional object which has got some length, breadth, and height. So it means it has got the basic three dimensions which give it a 3D shape or a 3D presence. So are you able to see this, or you are frozen on the first screen itself? Okay, fine. Then
So it's on the introduction slide.
still on the introduction. How about now?
No, sir.
Something is happening. 1 second. Your entire screen. Share. Yeah. How about now?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Now it's visible. Yeah. Okay. So these are yeah. These are the regular polyhedrons which you will have to deal with. Starting with a basic cube, tetrahedron, then these prisms, triangular prism, square prism, pentagonal prism, hexagonal prism, and these pyramids, triangular pyramid, square pyramid, pentagonal pyramid, and hexagonal pyramid. Now, of these triangular prism and triangular pyramid are not very important, but the remaining square, pentagonal, and hexagonal prisms, square, pentagonal, and hexagonal pyramid, this cube, and the tetrahedron. These are the eight solids on which you usually get the problems. Okay, I hope you are able to see this and hear my voice clearly.
Yes, sir.
The next would be uh, these entities, which are called as solids of revolution, basically cylinder and cones. So these are entities which do not have any sharp or corners or sides or edges. Of revolution is because they have smooth curved surfaces, and also to give you a background of that, can go to not this presentation. So by solids of revolution, what is meant is this. See, if you think of a cylinder, okay, how you get the cylinder is if you have an axis like what you see on the screen, and about the axis, if you have a rectangle, say on the left of the axis or on the right of the axis, if you rotate this rectangle in clockwise or anti-clockwise direction by 360 degrees, then you will be getting a cylinder. That is why these are called surface of revolution or solids of revolution, because you are rotating, or you basically are revolving. Yeah, you're revolving this particular rectangle about the axis by 360 degrees. Hence, you're getting the shape of the cylinder. Okay, this is with respect to cylinder. Now, cone. Generally, you will find in the statement that they just don't say that a cone is resting on HP. No, they say a right circular cone. So, what is the meaning of this right circular cone? The same axis, but this time the cone is also a solid of revolution, which you get by rotating a right angle triangle about the axis by 360 degrees. So this is the background of these solids of revolution, cone and cylinder. So you have these also. So basically, what we have is prisms, pyramids, then these solids of revolution, that is cylinder and cone. Okay. Now, yeah. Now, if you come to prisms, then the property of prism is that you see this triangle prism here. For any prism, the top face and the base both are either triangles if you consider it a triangular prism, or if it's a square prism, then the base and the top face both are squares. If it's a pentagonal prism, the base and the top face both are pentagon. That is what is mentioned here. It is a polyhedra. This prism is a polyhedra having two equal and similar faces. So one is called the base, the other is called the top face. And axis is the imaginary line that joins the center of the top face to the center of the base. So this is about prism. Okay. So you can see here, these are the faces, the top face and the base. This is the axis. This is the edge, the longer edge you can say. And these are the different prisms: triangular prism, square prism. Square prism, you can see the top face is a square, the base is also a square. Similarly, pentagonal prism. The top face is a pentagon, the base is also a pentagon. Hexagonal prism. The top face is a hexagon, the base also is a hexagon. So these are the different prisms that are there for syllabus. And pyramid. Yeah. Now this is a polyhedra which is having a plane surface as a base. So that means the polygon, say triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon, would be the base. Okay. And corners of the base would be joined to something at the top which is called as vertex or apex. So that makes a pyramid like this. So if you see, these are the edges of the pyramid and these are the corners of the pyramid, that is the base, and they are joined to the topmost point which is called as the vertex or the apex. Okay, so you have triangular pyramid, you have square pyramid. You can see for square pyramid the base is a square and all the corners of the base are joined to a point which is called as the apex or the vertex. Similarly, pentagon, the base is a pentagon. All the corners of the base are joined to the vertex or the apex. Hexagonal pyramid, the base is a hexagon. All the corners of the base are joined to the vertex or the apex. So these are the different pyramids that you generally have. And solids of revolution already have seen, cylinder as well as cone. Yeah, now I think this concept we can see later also. Yeah, as far as prisms are concerned, as you know that there is a base and the top face which are the same, depending on the prism, square, rectangle, pentagon or hexagonal prism. And you have these vertical edges, and then you have this axis, and then you have the top face and the base of the prism. Axis is the line joining the center of the top face to the center of the base in case of prisms. Whereas in case of pyramid, axis is the line joining the center of the base to the apex. Okay, so in case of pyramids, please note the axis is the line joining the center of the base to the apex. Okay, so these are some of the terminologies which are generally used. It is truncated, all these things are not required as of now. I guess this is enough. So these are the solids that you will be studying in this particular unit. The triangular prism, square prism, pentagonal prism, hexagonal prism, cylinder and cube. And triangular pyramid, square pyramid, pentagonal pyramid, hexagonal pyramid, tetrahedron and cone. So roughly you can say around 12 solids. Okay, so the projection of each of these solids need to be discussed, and more or less the concept remains the same, the basic remains the same. Only what is going to change is the number of corners and the number of edges. In this triangular pyramid, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 corners basically, including the apex. Whereas the square pyramid, you have got 5 corners, 4 corners of the base and 1 apex. For pentagonal pyramid, you have 6, 5 corners of the pentagon base and the apex. So the number of corners or the number of edges would go on increasing. The concept will remain the same. Okay, so here also you have the solid placed on HP in the first step, and it could rest on an edge or it could rest on a corner. And then in the second step, you would be asked to incline it to HP by an angle theta. So when you do that, it would be resting on an edge or on a corner, depending on the situation. And then in the third step, you would be asked to incline the axis to VP, or the edge on which it is resting would be inclined to VP. So in all these 3 situations, you have to draw the front and top view of the solid. So basically, if you see, projection of solids is just an extension of projection of planes. In projection of planes, you had triangle, square, rectangle, pentagon, hexagon. It was a plane entity. The only difference here is now it is no more plane. Here you have to deal with solids. But the concept, resting on HP in the first step, inclined to HP in the second step, inclined to VP in the third step, remain the same, whether it is projection of planes or projection of solids. Is that clear? Okay, so just to prove this, or just to show you what I can do is I'll show you a video. But before that, I think these. So if you have a square prism, and this is the top face of the square prism, and this is the base of the square prism, and these are the rectangular faces. So can you tell me how many rectangular faces are there for the square prism? The rectangular faces are the lateral faces. How many rectangular faces are there for this square prism? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, correct. So there are 4 rectangular faces. How about a pentagonal prism? How many rectangular faces?
5, sir.
Yeah, 5. So this is with respect to prism. Yeah, another thing. See, if you consider the construction of a square prism, or for that matter, any prism, you will come across these terminologies. Longer edge of the prism is basically this vertical edge of the rectangular face. This is called as a longer edge. That means there is shorter edge also. Shorter edge is this edge, basically the edges of the base or the edges of the top face. They are short. Whereas these vertical edges, the edges of the rectangular face, would be the longer edge. Okay. So, and of course, since you have the base, you will have the corner of the base. In this case, the base is a square, so you will have 4 corners of the base. And if you consider the top face, you will have 4 corners of the top face. Okay. And of course, this line which connects the 2 corners of the base is called as the edge of the base. So you have got 4 corners, you have got 4 edges also, because you are dealing with the square. Coming to pyramids, this is apex of the pyramid, where all the 4 corners or 5 corners or 6 corners join. And this is the base. In this case, since it's a square pyramid, the base is a square. The difference between a pyramid and a prism is here. See, in the prism, you have rectangular faces, which are perfectly vertical. Whereas, in case of pyramids, you don't have rectangular faces, you have triangular faces. So, how many triangular faces does the square pyramid have?
Four, sir.
Just like, yeah, it also got 4 triangular faces. Okay, and similarly, a pentagonal pyramid will have 5 triangular faces. So this is the basic difference between a prism and a pyramid. In prism, you have got rectangular faces. In pyramid, you have triangular faces. Just that terminology will change to slant edge. The reason is these edges are no longer vertical, they are slant, they are inclined, as you can see here. So they are called as slant edges. Okay. And of course, for the base, you will have the edge of the base and the corner of the base. Then cylinder, of course, the base and the top face again are the same. And for the cone, you have the apex and the base. And these lines you see here, these lines are the generators. I hope you remember how we have solved the problem on circular lamina. In the circular lamina, we had divided the circle into 8 equal parts. And then we had got the points on the circumference of the circle, 8 points. And those are the points which were projected into the front view, into the top view, and then solved. Okay, so here also you have to do the same thing. You have to divide this cylinder or this cone into 8 equal parts. And when you do that, The entities that you get, these are again imaginary lines which will be there on the surface of the cylinder or on the cone, basically on the periphery. These lines which you artificially create are called as generators. Okay. And depending on, say, if you want to divide into 8 parts, there will be 8 generators. If you want to divide into 12 equal parts, there will be 12 generators. These generators will help you to do the projection of the cylinder and the cone in case of solids. Okay, we'll see this later. Yeah. And of course, these are sections of solids which are generally cut. So what you find here is both these are cut sections. These 3 sections on the left and these 2 sections on the right are, again, you can see a part of some solid. Maybe this is a part of a cone, this is part of a cylinder, this is part of a square pyramid, this is also part of a square pyramid, this is part of a cone. But what is the difference between them? What you find here is the cutting plane in the cases of a frustum, in these 2, the cutting plane is parallel to the base. That is why you get this shape. So you call it as frustum of a cone or a pyramid. Whereas here, if you observe, the cutting plane is not parallel, it is inclined. That is why you see the angle here. Section of the solids, the top and the base are not parallel. Whereas when the cutting plane is parallel to the base, then you get the top and base parallel to each other. This we'll see later, not necessary now. This is important. This is what I was telling you about the 3 steps. Its front view is being shown. Okay. And in the front view, you will be getting the axis. This is the axis line. The axis will be perpendicular to HP and it will be parallel to VP. Since it's parallel to VP, you are getting it in its true length. So this would be the first step. Then second step would be you will be inclining it to HP. That is what you find there, axis inclined to HP by some angle theta. And when you're inclining, some corner or some edge is still on HP. That is why you find that it is touching XY line. And third step is the axis is inclined to VP or something like that, or one of the edges. Very similar to that, you will have 3 steps in solids also. That's what is highlighted here, and this is of course with respect to VP. We don't want this. Just to show you the concept and steps, I'll tell you these are the steps involved, but you not understand these steps till you take a problem and solve it. So there's no point in discussing these steps right now. Once we take a problem, then these steps will make more sense. Okay. So now what I would like to show you is with this basic background, I will show you a video wherein all these projections, first step, second step, third step, all these projections are shown. Okay, so please have a look, and I think things will be more clear. You will get to know how exactly
problem. The problem is
so what you are you able to see this particular video?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what you see here is you have a hexagonal pyramid which is resting on HP. As you can see, vertical plane and horizontal plane. The base of the hexagonal pyramid is resting on HP. Okay, and as we are dealing with the first quadrant, this is the position of VP and HP. The hexagonal pyramid is placed on HP, and this is the viewing direction, the direction of viewing of the observer. So the front view will be on VP, the top view will be on HP. Please remember we are dealing with the first quadrant. Okay, so just observe how things work out. So it is a 40 base, that is, and the height is 75 mm. So what is required is the lateral pyramid is resting on HP on an edge or on a corner. If you see this top view, if you observe, it is same as the hexagon in case of projection of planes, which is resting on a corner. So this remains true for solids also. So if you have the hexagon like this, that means it is resting on HP on a corner, because the corner here, you can see the corner on the right and the corner on the left. So these are the corners about which you can incline in the second step. This is a case where hexagonal pyramid is resting on a corner. Please observe what happens next. This is the top view. The hexagon is drawn. On 40 mm, and then the opposite corners are the 6 lateral edges, or you can say, yeah, lateral edges basically. And you can also see the 6 triangular faces starting with OAB. You can see here, this is OAB, triangular face. This is OBC. This is OCD, ODE, OEF, and OFA. 6 triangular faces and 6 lateral edges: OA, OB, OC, OD, OE, and OF. So this is a top view. You will draw the projections onto the front view and try to get a front view of the pyramid. So same A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, and some corners are seen, some are not seen. Extend the axis by 75 mm because the height is 75, and join the apex to all the corners of the base. So this would complete your front view. So as can be seen in the front view, 3 triangular faces are seen. The third one, OFA. So 3 triangular faces are seen in the front view. That means 3 triangular faces are not seen. They are behind. You cannot see them. So out of the 6 triangular faces, 3 triangular faces are very clearly seen in the front view. So this is a front view of the hexagonal pyramid resting on a corner on HP. Just observe what happens next. So in the second step, you are asked to keep this lateral edge O dash A dash, that is OA, on HP. So the lateral edge OA is resting on HP in the second step. So please observe how it is done. So using a rounder, you measure OA, put it on XY line, and then you measure A dash D dash, mark an arc. Then you measure O dash D dash, cut the arc. So that's it. You got D dash, complete the triangle. And then locate E, C, F, and B, HP. So one lateral edge is on HP. This is your second step front view. Then you draw the vertical projections, make it to intersect with the horizontal projections. And then one by one, you mark the intersection points. So there will be 7 intersection points, 6 for the base and 1 for the apex in this case. So this is how the intersection points are marked, and then you draw the top view. So in the top view, you're going to see the hexagon base, and see, this is the top view. So in the top view, you can see the base very clearly. Along with the base, you will see 2 triangular faces. Which are they? OCD and ODE. So in the top view, in the second step, you are seeing the base hexagon and 2 triangular faces. That is what you have drawn here. So this is your second step, top view. Then whatever is not seen, you have to join them by hidden lines, as you can see. These are the edges OB, OA, and OF. These are the edges which actually exist, the lateral edges which actually exist. But since they are below this hexagonal base and these 2 triangular faces, these edges are not seen. So whatever entity is not seen means it is hidden. So we represent hidden entities by these dashed lines. So this is your second step, top view. Third step, OA, that is the lateral edge which you put on HP, which you made to rest on HP, that is inclined to VP by 45 degrees. Okay, so please observe. So OA is inclined to VP by 45 degrees. So you can see OA is being placed on that 45 degree line. And then with the help of the rounder, the arcs are marked and the remaining points are located. B, C, D, E, F, all those. And then basically what you are doing here is the same second step top view is being repositioned, reoriented in the third step. This is the same step what you used to do for projection of planes. I hope you remember. Second step top view. This is what you used to reorient and reposition in the third step. The same thing you are doing for projection of solids also. Okay, so please note this. And then last step, you draw the horizontal and vertical projectors. Some 7 vertical projectors from the top view and 4 horizontal projectors from the front view. They will intersect, mark the intersection points A, B, C, D, E, F, and O. And then this is what is seen in the front. So do you see the base hexagon? No. What you see is these 4 triangular faces. This is what is seen in the final front view. So let us see which are those 4 triangular faces. This is a hexagon which is not seen. The base is not seen because it is covered by these 4 triangular faces. These are the 4 triangular faces. You can see here. OCD, ODE, OEF, and OFA. So 4 triangular faces are seen in the front view. Anything else is hidden. So these edges of the base are hidden, and this OB is also hidden. O dash B dash is hidden. So that you can represent it by hidden lines. So this is the solution. Okay, so hexagonal pyramid resting on HP. Then inclined to HP, you can say, or one of the lateral edges is on HP. And then that lateral edge is inclined to VP. How it's going to look like for all these 3 steps. You have to draw the front view and the top view. This is the solution. This is how it will typically look like. Follow, just like you had in projection of planes. Here also you have some thumb rule which will help you draw these projections. Okay. So one thing is very clear, that your projection of planes, or rather I would say understanding the concept of projection of planes, is very important if you want to solve the problems on projection of solids. Okay, because as you can see, both are very much the same. Basics remain the same. So that is point number 1. And so this is what I wanted to show you as part of the presentation. Now let me see if there is anything. So what we'll do is we'll try to just go step by step. So here, what you find here is that you have a square, right? Okay. And if you draw the front view, you can see in the front view it will be like a triangle, and in the top view it will be like a square. So you will draw the XY line. Top view is a square. Name the corners of the square, that is the base. And then join the opposite corners. The corners of the base, say AB, you will get A dash B dash, CD, you will get C dash D dash. And since the base is on HP, the intersection of all these 4 points will end at the XY line. However, the axis, not axis, I would say apex, which is O, to get that, you will have to project it beyond XY line, because any pyramid will have a height. So the axis is highlighting or signifying the height of the pyramid. So you have to extend it So this should be the axis. So O dash would be the vertex or the apex of this pyramid, and that has to be joined to the corners of the base, so that in the front view you will get a triangle. This is how you get the front and top view in the first step. Similarly, in the case of a solid whose base is on VP, you can see this hexagonal prism. It is resting on its base on the vertical plane. Now, if this happens, then in the front view you will see the hexagon. In the top view, you will be seeing the the square or the rectangle. So that is what you can see here. In the front view, you see the hexagon on VP, the corners of the hexagon. And in the top view, depending on the height of the prism, we will be getting maybe a square or rectangle as the shape in the top. This is roughly how you get the when either the solid is resting on HP or on VP, as in this case. This case doesn't arise generally where it is parallel to both. It doesn't happen, only for reference. So I think what we'll do now is I'll just check whether I have CATIA installed here. Yeah. So I have some basic solids with me, which I think I can show you, but is it necessary? No. And I'll show you how exactly to draw piece of paper on a 2D piece of paper. So I think that is what we'll see now. Let me switch over the mobile. I don't know, hotspot on. लॉगिन हुआ है आपका? What? इसका सुधींद्र और विनय का देखिए सिस्टम. Just give me 1 minute. I'll just set up. Okay. There is some connectivity. Yeah, now it is done. 1 minute. I'll just join. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what I'll show you now is the basic problem where we'll take a say a square pyramid. That is a basic pyramid that could be taken, and I'll place it in HP, and I'll just show you how these three steps are to be understood. And so you have the vertical plane and the horizontal plane, and we are dealing with only the first quadrant as we have done with planes and lines, so there is no change in that. So are you able to see what I've drawn? Fine. So what I'll do is I'll first draw a square pyramid resting on HP, on its base, and that too an edge of the base. So this is the square pyramid. First step. All to the
Sir, the screen is not visible clearly.
these are the four corners A, B, C, and D. And this is the axis O. You can give O1 also. So this is the square pyramid which has got four corners of the base, that is a square ABCD, and O is the apex to which all the four corners have to be joined, and O1 is the center of this base, or you can say the center of the square. So this line you can see OO1, the line joining the corner, or you can say the apex O to the center of the base O1. This line is your axis line. Nothing but in plain terms, this is the height. This is the height of the solid. Okay. So this solid is resting on HP on its base. So now if I want to draw the, what do you say, the top view, how would the top view be? If you look from the top, what you're going to see is this, a square like this. Is the screen clear or is it blurred?
It's
Sir, blurred.
Some connectivity, मैडम connection खराब नहीं है इसका हॉटस्पॉट का एकदम ब्लर आ रहा है। ये क्या हो रहा है? Completely blurred. तुमने देखा रेंज है क्या नहीं? ठीक है। Examination 1. वो कौन सा एग्जाम सेक्शन है क्या? Oh, I think it should work because I've connected to a different network. So I think now things are better. I'm able to see. Okay. So the top view of this square pyramid will be a square whose corners are A, this would be B, this would be C, and this would be D. Okay. And if you want to show this apex and these triangular faces, then you have to join these opposite corners, AC and BD. So where it intersects, this is the apex O. And since O1 is also there, which is the center of the base, which is below O, so O1 you can put inside the bracket. So O into bracket O1. So this is how the top view of the pyramid looks like. Basically a square, and it is joined, the opposite corners are joined so that you get the apex, and while doing so you are also getting the triangular faces. If you remember, there are 4 triangular faces, and those can be clearly seen here. So you can see here triangular face number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So 4 triangular faces can be clearly seen in the top. So this is the top view of the square pyramid in the first step. Now, if you want to draw the front view, then I'll just draw the projections onto VP and see how the front view looks like. So projections from O, from A and B, from C and D. So I guess these would be the points. So you have O dash, you have B dash, A dash, you have C dash, D dash. So these are the 3 points, and of course if you consider O1 also, this point would be O1 dash. So O dash, O1 dash is the axis. This is the axis, which will give you the height of the prism. And then if you join these 3 corners, O dash to B dash, A dash, you will get one of the edges of the front view. If you join O dash to C dash, D dash, you will get the other edge of the front view. And if you join B dash, A dash to C dash, D dash, you will get the base. This is your front view. This is the front view of this particular what do you say, square pyramid. And yeah, one thing I have not shown here, I think I rubbed it, is this OB. Yeah, this will be there. So just like we had seen in the presentation, the front view is a triangle. And can you tell me how many triangular faces are seen in the front view? As you know that there are four triangular faces. You can see here OAB, OBC, OCD, and ODA. There are four triangular faces. Out of these, can you tell me how many triangular faces are seen in the front view? Out of the four triangular faces, how many are seen according to you?
One, sir.
1.
Which one?
OBC.
Exactly. OBC. This is the only triangular face which you are going to see when you look from the front. The remaining three will not be seen in the front view. But in the top view, how many triangular faces can you see? All the four. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. All four triangular faces can be seen in the top. So these are some of the differences of projection of solids in the front view and the top view. Okay, so basically what you have to understand is in the top view you get information about the base. What is the length of the base? Also, in the top view you get these triangular faces. You get to know the apex. All these things, this information you get. In the front view, basically, you will get the information about the height or the axis of the solid. Okay. Also, how many triangular faces are seen? So this information you get in the front view. So this is your step 1 generally. The solid on HP. Now please observe the step 2. Step 2 could be like this. Let us say what I want is I want this triangular face which is OCD, which is on the right side. OCD. This triangular face I want to rest on HP. Okay, I want the triangular face OCD to be resting on HP. So I'll do that. I will topple or I'll rotate this pyramid and put it on HP such that OCD is on HP. So please observe how I do it. I'm going to rotate about this base edge CD. So I'm going to rotate in the which direction? The clockwise direction. So please observe what happens. कॉलेज का नेटवर्क ये है, ठीक है। नहीं कुछ मत करो, ये नेटवर्क। Yeah, so what I was saying is this: the triangular face OCD is on HP, and you can see that OCD. This is a triangular face which is placed on HP, and O1 is the center of the base ABCD, and O1 is joined to O. So this is your axis line, and this is the overall arrangement in the second step when you want the triangular face on HP. The point to be noted here is you can do this if you are rotating about the edge CD. So you can see here CD is the edge about which you have to rotate in the uh, clockwise direction, and also CD is the edge which is on HP. These are the two things which you need to understand here. And if you see in the top view, uh, this is the shape you may get. So this is O, this is D, this is C, and this is A, and this is B. These are the hidden lines. And of course, this is O1, this is the axis line. So in the top view, you are very clearly seeing the base. Along with the base, how many triangular faces do you think you can see when you look from the top? Only one, which is OAB. When you look from the top, OAB is the only triangular face which you will see. That is why you find that OAB is the only triangular face that is visible in the top view. The other triangular faces you can see all are joined by hidden lines, dashed lines. This would be the top view. Now just see how the front view looks like. So I'll project. So this would be O dash, this would be B dash, A dash, this would be C dash, D dash. So since CD is on HP, its front view C dash, D dash will be on XY line. Now if I join these 3 points, this is the front view. And of course, this is O1, O1 dash, this is the axis. So front view is as good as the first step front view, which is inclined in such a way that O dash, C dash, D dash, this line here, O dash, C dash, D dash, this line is on the XY line. So this implies that OCD, OCD is nothing but your O dash, C dash, D dash. So this triangular face OCD is represented by the line O dash, C dash, D dash. If this line is on XY line, it very clearly means that the triangular face OCD is on HP. So this is how the front view will look like. Okay. Third step, as I told you, generally in case of planes also you had in the third step some inclination to VP. Now this also could be done like that. What can be done is this edge CD. We have told that CD is on HP. So what we can do is this CD we can incline to VP and we can draw it. So I think I can show you that. So what we'll do is we'll draw an inclination to VP, whatever some uh, phi is say 40 degree, 45 degree is the inclination to VP. And on this, we have to place the edge CD. So CD is inclined at 45 degrees or 40 degrees to VP. So in that case, how the pyramid looks like, please observe. So I'm going to rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. I'm going to place it here. So first thing is CD should be on this line. So no problem with that. So this is C and this would be D. And then the remaining things will fall in place. Of course, you have B, you have A, and I'll have to extend this slightly to accommodate the pyramid. I'll extend this VP and HP. So, of course, this is O1, the center of the base. So now, I think O will come somewhere here, the apex. This would be O1, the axis, and this would be the triangular face. And of course, OD also, dotted, it won't be seen. So this is how it will look like in the third step. So CD is inclined at 40 degrees to VP, because of which this whole thing has been shifted, or you can say rotated, in the anti-clockwise direction by 40 degrees. Okay, but at the same time, OCD, the triangular face which was on HP in the second step, is still on HP. OCD is on HP only. There is no change. Only change is CD, which is perpendicular in the second step, has become inclined at 40 degrees in the third step. That is the only difference between the second and the third step. Same thing you used to have in case of projection of planes also. There is no change. So whatever you have here in the top view, the same thing will be there here also. Only thing, it will be inclined. That's it. So the top view of this, I'll say OCD on HP. The top view will be the same thing. Whatever you got in the second step top view, the same thing will be there in the third step also. No change. O, and you have A, D, sorry, B, C, and this would be D. And this is HP. Draw it to the side. And so whatever you had here, same thing would be there at an angle. That's it. Okay. Now, this is your final top view. The final front view is interesting. Okay, so please observe how you get the final front view. So of course the projection lines from the front view will help us, and also the projection lines from the top view. So this will be O dash, and very carefully I have to draw the others also, starting with D, then maybe C, then A, and then P. Okay, so I will mark these. So this would be A dash, this would be B dash, this is C dash, and this is D dash. C dash D dash without question will be on XY line because OCD is on HP. So this is how it is. And if you join all these points, then this is the shape you're going to get. Okay. And now I've told you there are some small thumb rules or rules of projections, or sometimes it is called also called as rules of visibility. These rules will help you to visualize what is seen in the front view and what is seen in the top view. Just for the sake of an example, if you are looking from the front, as you always are, if you're looking from the front, then will you be seeing this base ABCD in the front view? Yes or no? Is the base right in front of you? Can you see the base ABCD? See, the base is the nearest entity to you. You are looking like this. So the base is the first entity that you're going to see. So according to the rules of visibility, if you see an entity, that is in this case a base, all the four corners of the base should be joined by solid straight lines. So I'll do that. You can see all the four corners of the base I have joined by solid straight lines. Why? Because I am going to see the base in the front view. This is one of the rules of visibility. Okay. And whatever you don't see this O dash, A dash, all these things which you don't see, you represent it by the hidden lines. And of course, this is O1 dash, this is the axis line. So this is your final front view. This was your final top view. There is another rule of visibility which we have used but have not understood properly, which is that, see, if you look from the top in this second step, along with this triangular face OAB, you are also going to see the base. That is why the base is completely seen and represented by solid lines. Otherwise, it would have been represented by these hidden lines. Okay, so that is another thumb rule there. So we'll see all these rules of visibility and all. But I hope I've been able to give you a rough idea as to what to expect in this projection of solids. Okay, so basics of solids and planes remains more or less same. You have got 3 steps. First step, solid will be on HP, and in that you'll have to draw the top view and the front view. So in this case, the top view, you will get a square and you can see the 4 triangular faces. In the front view, you will see it as a triangle, and there you can see height, the height of the uh, pyramid. In the second step, depending on the statement of the problem, in this case, a triangular face is on HP, OCD. So O dash, C dash, D dash is on XY line. So in the top view, you will be seeing the triangular face OAB. Along with that, you will be seeing the base ABCD also. In the front view, it is the same. The first step triangle that you got, that front view is to be inclined in such a way that this O dash, C dash, D dash is on XY line. Third step, this edge CD, which is currently perpendicular to VP, is inclined at 40 degrees to VP. So CD is inclined at 40 degrees, because of which you have to rotate the whole pyramid in the anti-clockwise direction by 40 degrees. So this is how the position changes. So the top view remains the same, only thing is it is inclined at 40 degrees. The front view will have this shape. So in the front view, you are going to see the base and one triangular face OBC very clearly. Okay. Other things would be hidden. Whatever is hidden, you have to show by the hidden lines. So this is how you need to deal with these projections of solid. Okay. So in the next class, that is tomorrow's class, we'll start with maybe this problem only with some different data, and we'll see how to apply these rules of visibility. Okay, and solve these problems on projection of solids. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can ask, or you can put your roll number and you can leave.